track was called "Dancing in the Rain,"
Okay.
and it was on Suicide Sheep's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks later, they uploaded a song called "Dancing in the Rain."
And we're on. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Last Week Liquid podcast. Today I have the pleasure of sitting down with Jeroen and Alex, better known as NCT. NCT have been a drum and bass duo for close to 10 years now, not to be confused with the K-pop band NCT, which appeared much later. One of Liquicity's homegrown, they epitomize the euphoric dance floor vibes that we all love. You can catch their latest release, the remix album of their 2020 release, ASTROPHYSICAL, out now on all platforms. Jeroen, Alex, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Doing well. Doing really well.
Doing good.
I was wondering, should I mention the K-pop stuff in the intro or not? And then I was like, fuck it, yeah, I'll mention it.
Yeah, you did perfect. You did perfect.
Is that still something that comes up a lot or not? Because when I saw the Facebook post, I looked on YouTube and there isn't like that many. It's not like boom, 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 K-pop everywhere, but...
On YouTube, it's actually pretty bad. Because on YouTube, I guess we have the most views of all platforms. And so people easily get confused with these large view videos. People will easily get the both mixed up. So
yeah.
It's pretty
still
bad still, but we're just making a joke out of it, sort of.
Yeah.
I think actually your post about start behave, and I mean we were the first with drum and bass, not K-pop, etc. It actually got shared by one of the K-pop Facebook groups. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, guys, like everybody chill, like.
Yeah, either it's that or they just literally confused us with NCT again and just share everything that NCT posts. It kind of looked like that though, but yeah, I mean, it's been, especially at the beginning when the K-pop band started, it was really weird. We suddenly saw the Facebook likes, which was still a pretty big thing back then. They tripled in I think a couple of months or something like it.
Mm.
It was just insane, and the messages that just came in from all over the world.
That was pretty insane indeed.
Yeah.
Did you understand what was happening, or was it like just, oh fuck, like we made it huge, like everybody's noticing us?
At first, yeah, it was pretty confusing, but it was quite easy to find out like what was going on, and we weren't too happy to find out what was going on. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So what you can do about it?
No, for sure.
It started to get annoying when people will literally send us messages. Yeah, you should change your name, etc. You just lifted on the success of NCT. And,
like you take 2 seconds to just scroll Spotify, and you'll see releases like 2010 or 2011, whatever. And it's like, okay, these guys came over, and I think I had a look earlier today, and it was like 2015 or something or later. Yeah, it's strange, man. The whole K-pop thing. I know it's huge, like even worldwide. I know like friends of my wife, like in Belgium or whatever, that are like huge fans of certain bands, K-pop bands. I don't know, it's so different from what we know here in Europe. Like the way they get put together and the way they operate. It's so strange. I don't know.
They're huge groups, right?
Yeah. It's basically this NCT K-pop band. I had a look, and it's like multiple people based across different cities. So it's not really like one. I don't know. I don't get it.
It's strange.
But it works, and they get worldwide success. So yeah, I mean, if for some reason we ever feel drum and bass eventually, or we just get fed up with it, we might still give it a shot.
Yeah. You can do an easy collab like NCT x NCT. That could be like interesting.
Well, we tried to get in touch with them, but
Oh yeah,
it's impossible.
Yeah, they probably think we're just another fan group that wants to have some attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although they did release a song with a quite not very often used name that we released on Mr. Suicide Sheep, and
Okay.
they released a track with the same name 2 weeks later,
Oh,
which
wow.
was even more either coincidental or like something's actually going on. But
So what, like the name of the track?
the track was called "Dancing in the Rain."
Okay.
And it was on Suicide Sheep's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks later, they uploaded a song called "Dancing in the Rain."
Okay, that's getting like messed up. That's
Yeah.
like really like.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. Pretty weird. I'm not sure what was going on there, but yeah.
And if they lifted like the same sample or something, that would have been really fucked up.
No, it was a completely different song, but it made the fan bases even 10 times more confused.
Yeah, but yeah, those K-pop fans are like, it's like next level. It's like Beatles, Justin Bieber, all put together fandom. It's insane. I don't get it, but yeah. Anyways, how are things in your part of the world? You're both in the Netherlands now, right?
Yeah. It's actually pretty good. I mean, things are finally reopening. We just had our first couple of shows. I got COVID, so timing is actually pretty good. We had a 6 show last Friday, don't have a show coming weekend, and then a week after, it's just the whole Liquidity thing starts again. So it's actually pretty good timing. So yeah, can't complain. The weather's good, clubs are reopening, festival season seems to be shaping up nicely and coming along finally after 2 years without festival. So
I got my because I have my ticket for Liquidity like summer festival like 2 years ago. And I think I got an email or I saw whatever like a few weeks ago, like, okay, it's going ahead. And then they announced Netsky, which I'm pretty sure wasn't in the lineup.
It wasn't on the original lineup, no.
So they added Netsky.
Alex actually booked them.
Yeah.
Oh, you booked him, really?
Yeah, I do the bookings for Liquidity.
Oh shit! How did that? Yeah, I saw because you posted it. You went to like Full-Time Music and you joined Liquidity.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing the bookings for roughly 4 years, I think. And yeah, I've known those guys obviously for a long time. And even before Jeroen and I started working together.
Okay.
I got in touch with Mark and Maris. And eventually that obviously grows, and Jeroen and I, we play loads of Liquidity shows, are really intertwined with the whole family. And obviously after quite some backstage drinks and stuff, you just keep on chatting. Yeah, if you need some help, just let me know. I'm happy to help. And eventually, a couple of years back, they asked me to join. It's just for the bookings, for the programming.
Nice.
And yeah, here we are. I just started full time at Liquidity.
Yeah, that's really cool. Because I think you mentioned that was your first, like your full-time music now, like music related. Yeah.
Exactly.
That must be amazing, man. That's like still my goal, like long term somehow.
It is. I still have to get used to it though, especially now these days when I work at home. Obviously, the last 2 years I had my daytime job from home, so I was used to just do the daytime stuff, and then I go back up and do the bookings for shows that were going on, or shows that we had to postpone. And now I'm here just doing Liquidity the whole day, and I feel like, okay, am I missing something? Am I still where's the daytime stuff? This is all the stuff that I like. Where's the stuff that I don't like?
Yeah. Yeah, that's super cool, man. That's super cool. So just coming back to Netsky, because whenever I get a chance to talk about Netsky on this podcast, I do it because I'm half Belgian. I grew up in Belgium and pretty much got introduced to drum and bass in 2010 with his first album. That was like huge for me. Mm-hmm. So how does one book Netsky? Because he's obviously huge now.
Well, you don't send Boris a postcard, obviously. No, it takes a lot because he has to be available, obviously. There's always money involved, and it's just dealing with the agents. You don't deal with Netsky directly, obviously. But you just have to make sure that your story is solid. And obviously, he played Liquidity before. He knows what Liquidity is about, so that probably helped getting him there. And yeah, you have to be a bit bold just to give it a go.
Yeah, definitely. It's my goal to have him on the podcast one day, and I know I have to be bold one day and just like try, but I'm scared because like
let me know when you come to the festival and I'll see if I can sort of meet up.
That'd be a nice like opportunity, at least to like introduce him to the concept, and then maybe down the line.
Exactly.
That's usually how these things work. It's not like just ask the question and it's like, yeah, sure. But yeah, no, that's really cool, because I think the first time I went to Liquidity Summer Festival, I think he played. It was either the very first festival or the second one, I forget, but I'm pretty sure he was playing.
Yeah, he played one of those.
Did play before, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really sick that he's coming back to. Obviously, he did like his album with Hospital and coming back to his roots, so to speak. I find that really cool. I think Jeroen, you mentioned you did a video for the release of the album. You mentioned Netsky as well as like one of your like big influences as well, I think.
Definitely the biggest, yeah.
Yeah. What is it about his music that you find so appealing?
It's exactly what I'm trying to do as well. Like his little side trip to the hip hop stuff isn't really, but when we talk about his drum and bass, that's kind of the same thing as we're trying.
Yeah.
The poppy.
Yeah,
exactly. It's just poppy
dance floor,
uplifting, and it doesn't have to be like the deep underground stuff. Especially when he came up in 2010, that was what drum bass was still about for a huge aspect.
Yeah,
it has to be underground. It has to be a bit darker, and I think he broke the barrier. And obviously, he has a huge impact on drum and bass in general, but I think especially in Belgium and the Netherlands as well.
Yeah. Did he have such a? I guess he did, but did he have a huge impact in the Netherlands as well?
I think so. Yeah. Obviously, having someone in the country next door that makes radio drum and bass basically. We booked him. Do you remember, Joe? We booked him in The Hague once. I think that was just after the release of his first album, so it could be 2010.
It was around that time, yeah.
Yeah, maybe just
2010, 2011.
Yeah, somewhere between 10 and 12. But we sold out a venue that hasn't been sold out with the drum and bass event. And we sold it out in advance, and it hasn't sold out in years. I think NCT was the last one that sold it out. And that was just huge. And obviously, radio picked it up in Holland. And yeah, obviously in Belgium with Stuberu. The influence that he had on drum and bass there, working together with Hans of Murdo from Rampage, Hans helping him, and in return Netsky helping Hans with the productions and stuff, and just the way everything evolved. He played a big part in it.
Yeah. I still remember seeing him in I think it was Lotto Arena in Antwerp. I think it's like 8,000 people or something capacity. I'm not sure any like single drum and bass act filled up the Lotto Arena since him. Maybe, but like it was huge. It was when he was doing his live show and everything.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, the shows that he did at Pukkelpop and stuff, just the final main stage set at the Pukkelpop. That's just something.
Yeah.
Artists in general dream of doing stuff like that. Imagine being a drum and bass artist and actually doing it.
Yeah, no, it's huge. Yeah, and it's great to see him coming back to like drum and bass. I don't know if you heard his latest track, Broken. I think it's called Broken.
Yeah. I've heard it. Yeah, it's really good.
It's fucking awesome. I love it. It's so nostalgic.
Yeah, that's the type of drum and bass that made me fall in love with drum and bass. The heartfelt dance floor.
Yeah. What did you think of his? And after that, we'll move on from Netsky, I promise. But what did you think of his album that he put out on Hospital, Second Nature? His comeback album.
There are a lot of tracks on there that I really like. My favorite is the collab with what is the band called again? forgot their name for a sec.
Rudimental.
Rudimental, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Rudimental collab. That's my favorite. But yeah, there are lots of tracks on there that I really, really like.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, the impact probably wasn't as big as his first two albums, but still making his way back to drum and bass. The only thing that really makes it hard to compare, I think, is the timing, because obviously COVID happened.
Yeah.
So he had wicked tours in New Zealand, at least from what I saw. He did the Glasshouse thing though, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that looked insane.
That looked insane, and I'm pretty sure that he would have had a big tour with the same project here in Europe. But yeah, obviously COVID happened, so the impact is just probably wasn't what it could be. But yeah, it's good to have him back on drum and bass.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, really looking forward to this summer. How much are you guys looking forward to playing the summer festival? I guess you're playing. I haven't checked actually, but
yeah, we're already announced, so we're not no secrets here. But yeah, for me, I mean, obviously this summer festival will be special. The first one in 3 years, actually being part of the whole production side. So gonna be real special. But for me, playing the summer festival, I remember the first time that we did the main stage. The first time in this new in Geesma Ambacht, the new place where it's held. I think we both nearly cried when we got off stage. Just full of euphoria, and the whole Christie fan base chanting along with every song that you play, including your own songs, obviously. Yeah, it's a magical place.
What about you? Yeah,
it still feels unreal. Like I have to be there to
yeah, you're almost like you don't want to hope too much.
I mean, I know it's gonna happen, but I can't really believe it yet. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be emotional for a lot of people, especially those like me, like holding their tickets for like 2 years and just waiting.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be awesome.
Thankfully, a lot of people held on to the tickets.
Yeah. Well,
that's gonna be.
People that go to Liquidity are not the type to like just resell and move on to the next festival. I think it's a very unique type of. I don't know if you get that from playing there, but me going there a few times, it's a completely different vibe from any other festival.
Oh no, yeah, that's why we stick with Liquidity. That's why we love Liquidity so much. It's really like a different type of community. That's something on its own. Yeah. Like apart from drum and bass itself, it's a living organism.
Yeah, and especially at the festival. I mean, when we're at the festival, we don't just stick backstage and have fun with all the artists. Of course we do, but we're there to enjoy the festival as well.
Yeah.
Just as fans, just walking around, dancing, having drinks, having laughs with just random people you meet.
Yeah. I guess it's the kind of festival you just want to go to as well.
Yeah.
So it's you just want to enjoy it.
For sure.
Definitely, yeah.
So yeah, I just want to switch slightly because so I mentioned in the intro your remix album came out last month, I think, or was it January? I forget, but recently. How was the reception on that remix album so far?
It was pretty great, actually. Yeah, I didn't have too many expectations, so things turn out great more easily.
Yeah.
But I was surprised by how well it got received, and very happy to see all the remixers actually getting some new opportunities. Like John Voight, he texted me today, like, thank you so much for the opportunity, because through that remix he now has a release on Viper coming out. So so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice extras.
How does the process of actually putting together a remix album go? Like, do you have like, okay, these are like the 15 artists I absolutely want on this, and then you kind of see who wants to do it or not? Like, what does that process look like?
Yeah, kind of. I had about 15 artists and I sent them all a message, and most of them were immediately positive, and they were willing to do it. We had a couple that didn't make the final cut. But yeah, it was basically that, and then like the ones that didn't make the cut, I had to find different people, for it. So we started the process again, basically, but with less producers.
Yeah.
And yeah, it worked out really quickly, actually, really smooth.
Yeah. I think only the Laos remix wasn't really on our list to have Laos.
The Laos remix was really late. Like that one, I was talking to Yanni on Facebook, anyways, and then suddenly this remix came up. He asked me, I think, like, do you still have something to remix? And I gave him Afterlife because Diamond Eyes was supposed to do this, but he didn't get to it in time, so we gave it to Laos, like I think 2 weeks, maybe a week before the deadline.
Yeah.
I think it was actually a week before the deadline, and he nailed it. Like, boom.
Yeah, he wanted to remix Afterlife,
and
he was asking for the stamps because he just liked the vocals so much. And then he had no idea that we were actually working on a remix album. He just wanted to have a go at it.
Yeah.
So that came out perfectly.
So he didn't hear that. He didn't hear that like other people were remixing, and he was like,
no idea. No.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy how everything came together, because there were more instances like this before that, and yeah, everything came together perfect.
Yeah, because the album's already 2 years old, like, well, in 2020, so it's not like it just came out and he was like, oh yeah, I want to remix this. It's like 2 years later, and it just happens.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really cool, because that's one of my favorites from the album. So it's funny to hear like how it happened. But yeah, the vibes on that one are really smooth. But yeah, I love how versatile it is as an album. There's like the really like the Telamic one I knew way before, because I think it came out maybe a year ago or less. And a huge fan of Telamic, had him twice on the podcast, love everything he does. So that one's one of my favorites. And then you have like the closing track. I forget who did it.
I think that's the Aladdin one, or no?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like hugely like saturated, like compressed, like thing in your face, like opposite entirely.
Yeah.
What do you remember what you thought when you heard that remix, like first, or did you know what to expect?
I think we heard it in Melkweg first, right? Yeah, which is a big club in Amsterdam.
We did a radio show there, and it was their first live show that the guys did, because they just started.
Okay.
And they played it to us there, and yeah, but I don't think we both had any idea what to expect. Obviously, we know them, so we kind of know the direction it might go into, but that's all we knew.
Yeah, it was impressive. It was impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. I'm like, how do you produce that?
Lucas, he's a mastermind. Sound design mastermind.
Yeah.
You can get them on the podcast and tell them, or ask them how they made it, and you'll probably end up listening to both of them talk for about a day and a half.
Oh yeah.
Once you go production, they'll just dive in deep and
nice.
fun stuff.
That's the best. That's how you know they're like motivated.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like Alex, on your side, how, because from what I read, I actually didn't know this, but you're kind of, as a duo, you're quite unique in terms of production. That's mostly you, Jeroen, and then DJing is actually the both of you. So how much, Alex, did you get like involved in this remix project?
Well, I think basically with this project, as with all projects, Jeroen is just completely in the lead. It's his project. That's what we decided on a long time ago. Well, obviously, whenever there's something finished or nearly finished or something in the works, Jeroen sends it over, and he's always happy with me to give feedback. But and obviously make sure that we do the road test of all the music and get feedback from that. But mainly it's just Jeroen's production.
How did that? It's actually a question I got from the man Telamik himself over on Patreon. He was asking what caused the transition from working solo as just yourself, Jeroen, to bringing Alex on board, and what was that like?
Well, it was pretty easy actually, because it was really early stage. Like we weren't well known yet at all, or I wasn't. I think I had just had my first Liquid City release, which was Frozen in Time, and I think that's about the exact moment I asked you, Alex, to join.
Yeah, I think maybe a bit before, when what was it, the John Mayer bootleg?
The John Mayer bootleg. Maybe it was the same story, but with the John Mayer bootleg, that popped off, and I started getting some bookings here and there, but I didn't know how to play music. I really sucked at it, and so yeah, I at the same time I was also joining like this event organization, which is hosting Champion Sound, which I'm still doing right now, and Alex isn't anymore, but has done for a long time. And so Alex was already in that organization, and I joined, and I knew that he was the best DJ there. So, there was only one person to ask to join me, to teach me the ways. And also join me on this journey, which I do not regret at all.
Luckily, yeah. So I'm curious, because it's a common story of like musician producers. They start producing, it's just on SoundCloud, then they get a bit of traction, they get some bookings, and then they learn to DJ. I guess my question was what made you think of bringing somebody else on board rather than just, I guess, learning yourself and learning to DJ?
It was also definitely a psychological thing. I had like huge stage fright. So I just felt much more comfortable and confident with a DJ who actually knew how to DJ next to me. And that way I could, learn both at the same time, learn how to DJ and learn how to be on stage, how to be comfortable on stage. And thanks to that decision, I managed to do both at the same time. And I'm doing really well now.
Yeah. Now Jeroen just stands on the stage the whole time, just mic in his hand and go out. But I think obviously I'm really thankful for because I gave production a try, but never really took off. Also time wise, I'm much better in just organizing stuff and DJing. But I think if you just start up and you get booked for some small events, it might be pretty doable. Start DJing, you got about 50 people in front of you, but the inquiries that Jeroen got at that point were either for Champion Sound or the Liquisties, which just started coming. They just started promoting events. Otherwise the first events that you'd be doing solo would be, I think, in Paradiso in Antwerp or something like it, or one of the bigger Champion Sounds in The Hague. And that's still can be pretty hard if you don't really know how to DJ or you got stage fright or whatsoever, because it's a huge crowd in front of you.
Yeah. Do you still get a bit of stage fright, or is that completely behind you now?
I have to say, like the first gig that we did, I was a little bit like, can I still DJ at all?
Yeah. After the pandemic.
But after the pandemic, But no, not really. Like I just need a little moment maybe sometimes to get into it. But once I get into it, I get into it good.
There's always just this moment, of having a chat backstage, listening to the DJ play before you, and then having to make the switch to, okay, I'm up next. I'll play now. So, And it's not stage fright. It might be a bit nervous, but I think it's also just to switch your game mode basically.
Yeah. Like now I'm responsible for this party. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah. No,
I think everything that takes a big responsibility kind of gets your,
exactly. If you have to do a presentation, no matter how well you know your presentation and stuff, once you start the presentation, all the people there listening to you, it's still okay. Don't fuck up.
Yeah. And usually, if the first 5 minutes go all right, then you're
I think the first mix basically is just the most important for how you feel. As long as your USB loads and you got your headphones on and you do the first mix, then it's just
even if the first mix goes bad, that can still like give you that confidence. Like
it's the first mix. It doesn't have to go good or whatsoever.
And now we're gonna fuck it up.
Do you think you would have you would say the same thing like 10 years ago? Like
No, not at all. No. 10 years ago I would be like making one mistake and then I don't know, cry inside and be scared as hell to make another mistake.
Yeah.
It gets easier to put that stuff behind you. And it's also easy that you play with USBs or CDs, so you can, when I started DJing with vinyl, being nervous while having to play really sucks because you have to put the needle on the vinyl.
You actually have to touch stuff. Yeah.
You have to touch stuff, and if you're just shaking like this, you can't put the needle at the beginning. So you always put it to someone near the beginning. You have to play it back, and it always takes time, and it skips again. And it was a lot harder.
Yeah, I'm not fully sure what you're talking about because it feels very like I have like 4 vinyls at home and I've never played them. Like I've received them and like feels like a long time ago. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's how it goes. But yeah. It gets easier, and then also what Jeroen said, if you make a fuck up, and it's a lot easier to put it behind you. I mean, we're all just humans after all. You just do your best, and sometimes it just doesn't work. And back in the days, I think what Jeroen said counts for me as well. I could spend the rest of the set, even though I played the best set I ever did afterwards, I could still be like, fuck this mix up.
Yeah, it's all in your mind. Yeah. So I'm curious Alex, when you joined, like, did you want to contribute to productions as well? Like, was that something you were interested in, or was it like clear from the start we each have our own responsibilities? Or
no, definitely. When we started, we had the great idea of just combining the stuff. So my DJ skills and Jeroen's production skills, and just both of us. I mean, we're still combining them now, but in a different way.
The idea was. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the steps that Jeroen made production-wise were just he went on so fast, and I had my daytime job doing the events, doing the DJing, so I couldn't put the time in there to keep up, even if I wanted to.
Yeah,
and that's when I made the decision, at least for myself. Okay, just we'll let this be, and we had a chat about it, and we both agreed that it would work perfect the way that it was working. So.
Yeah, that feels really cool because it really feels like both playing to your actual strengths, like looking, okay, what's my strengths, what are your strengths, how much time do we each have to allocate to this, and then working with that. I haven't. Yeah. Do you guys know any other duos that work the way you do? Because I don't.
No, I don't actually.
No, I think T and Sugar kind of started off like this. Kind of.
It's although Flip is always in studio when Robin is working, so Flip is always in the songwriting process involved.
Exactly.
And a lot of production too. So.
Yeah. No.
But I don't know. So if there are any duos, just let us know, and it's always good to have a chat about it.
Yeah. No, that's why I was curious to talk about it, because it's not something I've heard before. Like, you always hear drum and bass duos that just start together producing and then they DJ together, or yeah, that's kind of it. Like that's usually how it goes.
That's usually how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess we were a bit before the days of like this whole standard, so to say. There weren't many duos at all yet, but like there also weren't really like these producer duos that you see now. Like you see them pop up everywhere, like all the time. But it wasn't really that much of a thing yet back then. Like I guess we got into drum and bass before Fred V and Graphics were even a duo, you know, just for example.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That gives some perspective, because I feel like they've been there forever.
Yeah, and same with Gamma and Crooked. Like I knew Gamma and Crooked before they were together.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So you've really been here a long time. Definitely before the K-pop band.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So tell me how you actually got into production. Like, were you like a musician beforehand, or was it straight into production? I mean, musician in terms of like
a musician. I had some guitar lessons for like 2-3 years maybe, and I did like extra music courses in high school. But you know, other than that, that was actually the time I got inspired to actually want to be a musician, was during my high school period, because I had a teacher and she was like really inspiring. And she kind of pushed me to actually pursue it, even though I didn't do it straight out of high school. Because I don't know, I didn't think I could do it actually. Like I didn't feel like I was actually already a musician, you know. I felt like a guy who could play guitar and sing a little bit, you know. But eventually, like as I was studying photography first, eventually I learned about electronic music production, and I got so interested in this specific thing, this specific way of making music, because I didn't have to learn an instrument. I already knew the instrument because I was already, you know, kind of good with computers. So it was just like figuring out this software, and that's when it happened.
And so was it drum and bass from the start, or did you go through your
no, it was
hardstyle
actually
phase? And
no, it was actually hip hop first.
Okay.
Because I was always listening to hip hop mostly. Lots of other stuff too, but like hip hop was really the main genre I listened to growing up. And yeah, so I was rapping a little bit and making some beats with a homie, Mark, and yeah, one thing led to another. I discovered Fruity Loops in the same time, because we were doing the beats together in Logic first. Then I discovered Fruity Loops, and at the same time, some other friends showed me Netsky, and I was like, "Holy shit, what is this?" This Netsky and Danny Bird, like those two were like, "Holy shit," blowing my mind. And that's when I decided, like, fuck it, I'm gonna try and make some drum and bass, like, by myself. And I just started doing it like every day, and yeah, that didn't end at all. Like for 8 years or something, like every day I was making music.
So I guess from the start you took it like super like seriously. It wasn't like a hobby at the start, and then one day you were like, okay,
No,
from now
it
on,
was really like I found my passion. Like I knew this was it. You know, this was like something else.
Nice. And so when did the connection with Liquidity happen? Because you put out most of your stuff today with Liquidity.
That's actually a cool story, because it was Oscar from Submatic. He discovered 2 tracks that I had released on a label called Liquid Tones, and yeah, he was like, "Holy shit, how are you still so small?" And I was like, because I just started. But I was so happy that a guy from Liquidity, like I was already a huge fan from Liquidity, and like I listened to that mostly. Like that was the main music that I was listening to, like Ramses B, Kino, Submatic, these guys.
Faint.
Faint, yeah, for sure. And that's how I got in touch with the first Liquidity artist. He just discovered one track on SoundCloud, so it was pure luck that he fell on that track. And then he was like pushing my music every time from that moment to Maris, the owner of Liquidity. And at some point I had the John Mayer bootleg, and this one was right for them, so they uploaded it, and that's where it all started.
I mean, I kind of just made the connection when we were talking earlier about the festival of like the Liquidity family being like a family, that maybe it comes back to just the YouTube days, because it was just a YouTube channel and people were just fan of the YouTube channel and all the music that came from there, and it grew organically from there into all the events.
Yeah.
Whereas if you compare to like another festival that just appears, there's no reason to be like a hardcore fan of that festival because it kind of just appeared out of nowhere. So maybe there's a link there.
Yeah, and it's actually a beautiful thing if you think about it. Like Maris just started this brand. Like he just made this up and found like specific tracks and put them all together on one channel. Yeah. And this inspired a whole wave of music producers to make this brand what it is today. You know, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. What about you, Alex? Like, were you like an old school YouTube fan of Liquidity as well, or?
Not really, though. Of course, I knew the channel, but when Liquidity started, I'm not really sure when the YouTube channel started. I think I was just, visiting my first drum and bass events myself. And I was into Liquid, but more, the real deeper stuff, the Bookum stuff, the Cannabis stuff. And the whole YouTube thing, I think, and I'm really starting to sound old, that was something from the generation after mine. We were still, like I said, I started playing vinyl. I went to CDs a lot later on. I was still stuck on Docs on Acid, on the Dutch drum and bass forum that we had, promoting events with the likes of Aphrodite, that company. And bit by bit, of course, I got to know the channel. I saw okay, cool, drum and bass on YouTube, nice, and I kind of grew into it, I think. And eventually, a colleague of mine, I'm still doing the dishes in some restaurant somewhere in Delft, and a colleague of mine, she came to me, hey, you like drum and bass, right? I was already promoting events, DJing. This guy, he works at my dad's, and he just, he made this music, and I was like, okay, hey, this is Liquidity, cool. And that was the first, Maduk's first upload ever.
Okay. Oh wow.
That's how I got in touch with Mark, with Maduk. And that's kind of how the Liquidity journey started for me.
Yeah.
But I didn't really grow up with the channel. For me, it was just, browsing chemical records. You just go to the record stores.
You actually taught Maduk how to DJ, right? As well.
We gave him his first drum and bass DJ instructions, because he came from techno as Marcus. But yeah, obviously he liked drum and bass a lot more. And when he got his releases, he got inquiries as well. And we got in touch. And I think the first time that we actually met was in Leiden. So Jeroen's hometown, at Bart's place, Jigsaw, who was still doing the Champion Sound events with us, and we kind of took him to how to mix drum and bass. Obviously, within just one session, he got the whole of it.
That's a cool story to tell. Like, you taught Maduk how to DJ.
Yeah, and it's now it came full circle now. Obviously, me working for Liquidity and getting that full time from the early days on. So yeah.
Yeah. How does it feel to be like working for Liquidity now?
I think my girlfriend, she asked me the question, okay, what if you'd win like 50 million euro today? Would you still do this? Yeah, of course I would. So that's kind of how it feels.
Yeah, that's the perfect answer.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's when you know you found the perfect job. It's like
Exactly.
I just put it in the bank and continue. Like,
Yeah.
what else would I do?
Yeah. I don't need anything else to do. It's just this,
Yeah.
you know, for promoting events and just basically pushing the music that I love. It's, you know, what I've been doing ever since basically I got in touch with drum and bass.
Yeah. So how did you get in touch with drum and bass without mentioning any years or dates if you don't want to?
No, that's fine. I'm not sure. I think I literally was just a kid when my dad came home with Logical Progression, one of the first LTJ Bookham albums, and it kind of became the Sunday evening soundtrack at dinner. And I started to really like it, and then obviously you dive into it. I kind of forgot about it in between some years in high school. It still was the music on Sunday evening, but then a friend of mine, he got to know drum and bass. He played it to me, and I was like, I know this music. This is proper stuff. And then it all just started. But yeah, the main reason is my dad.
Okay. Well, was he a DJ or just a fan of the music?
Just a fan.
Okay. Yeah,
He's always been a fan of good music for some reason. You know, I got introduced to guys like Underworld, the Fatboy Slim. He came out with it, and LJ Bookham and all kinds of electronic music via him.
A man of taste.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And so when did the actual DJing come in? Like, was that a friend that introduced you to DJing, or?
I think my dad might have some influence on it because he used to make his own soundscapes, you know, his own radio soundscape show. So he had a small mixer. So I think in high school, first class, I celebrated my birthday, and my dad was like, yeah, we could do like a small party. So, you know, just the speakers in the living room. He had his mixer out. He had 2 CD players, and he just put on some music, and I really liked it. And I think, okay, I want to do this next year. So yeah, I saved up for my first mixer and just started DJing with it. Well, once I finally had it, and then the whole drum and bass thing started. And I think the first actual drum and bass show that I did with turntables must have been 2005, the first show I promoted as well. But I just got into it because I liked it. I always had a fascination for buttons and then music and just pushing stuff and see what happens. I think I actually demolished quite some needles of my parents' turntable at home. Just, you know, there's a plate on it. Okay, cool, that's fine. I can scratch with it. And then, an hour later, your mom comes in your room. What the fuck have you been doing? And at some point, I wasn't allowed to touch, you know, the receiver at home because probably I messed it up again.
Yeah.
But that's been me the whole time. So yeah, having my own mixer, my own CD players, just kind of took that off my parents. And that's how it started. And then eventually I got in drum and bass, and I figured, okay, more people need to know drum and bass, because then it was just, you know, a small group of people. Wherever you went, every party you went to, you met the same people. And I figured, okay, we need to do something about it. Friends of mine thought the same, and that's how I started promoting events and DJing.
Yeah. And so you mentioned before that you started producing a bit as well. Was that around the same time or later on?
Yeah, somewhere during high school, Fruity Loops as well. A friend of mine in the same apartment complex, he had Fruity Loops and he was into it. So I just, you know, started doing that late at night, during the weekends, just all kind of music, just, you know, random atmospherical stuff.
Yeah.
And I think then really puberty hit, so, you know, you change direction, you go after girls, you go out, and just production was just, okay, forget about it. I think my computer crashed as well once, and then the music I was working on just didn't sound the same anymore. You know, plugins gone. I was like, yeah, okay, fuck it, I'm on. I'm out.
I guess you didn't have like the like a super strong passion or drive to actually create the music.
No. I liked it, but I couldn't spend hours, you know, just tweaking this sound or tweaking that sound.
Yeah. So you're very happy to leave that to somebody else now.
Definitely, yeah. Just let me select the music and then be the DJ and in the background, you know, just let me organize stuff, promote stuff, book stuff, get stuff done. Yeah, that's more me.
Yeah, because I guess then are you like the booking agent for NCT or like?
I started my own agency with a couple of friends, Compass Agency, years ago. And obviously NCT was part of the roster as well. We just joined with NB Artist this year. Just Mark and I, and that's actually the same Mark that Jeroen started producing with.
Okay.
And I used to be NCT's agent, but eventually it got kind of weird, especially when I started doing bookings for Liquidity. I actually had to book NCT by contacting me, so that that's kind of weird. Hey Alex, it's Alex here. I want to book Alex.
Like
is it possible?
phones.
Yeah, exactly. so Mark's doing that now.
Okay. Kind of curious because I don't think I've spoken with a lot of with booking agents or before on this podcast, and I'm always like interested in exploring, I guess, different ways to make a living in music besides just making music. And so I love exploring different ways people actually make a living. And so what does it actually entail, like being a booking agent? What does a typical booking agent do?
Well, I'm not really sure whether I'm a typical booking agent, but yeah, obviously you try to get the best shows for your artist against the best possible fee on the best possible time slot, etc. So you're networking the whole time, both with your artists. You want to know what's coming up, where they want to go, what are the shows that they're aiming for. If they got their release schedule, you try to forward it to promoters, just to make sure that they get to know your artists, or if they know them, that they know that they've got big stuff going on. So it will be a good time to book them. So it's selling and marketing, and also a bit managing your artists, especially the artists that we have at MB, because they don't have their own manager. At least most of them don't. And the whole reason we started the agency was just to make sure that guys like Jeroen, but also other friends of us, Dualistic, the whole Liquidity, the younger Liquidity guys, there was so much talent, but they had to deal with everything themselves when bookings came in. And the main reason we thought, okay, we know how it is to be an artist, we know how it is to be a promoter, so let's make sure that we take all those details away from the artists themselves, so they can just focus on making music, preparing the sets, and have a good time. And they don't have to worry about we did there's enough for them to drink, we did the gears or wine, stuff like that. And I'm still thinking that's next to obviously getting your artists the best shows. That's the main responsibility of being an agent. Make life as easy as possible for your artists, so they can just focus on what they're good at.
Yeah, but so there's almost like a coaching, I guess, aspect of like newcomers, of like just kind of maybe teaching them how this whole thing works once you start getting shows, or but we always try, at least Mark and I always try to do that. That's
still pushing what we believe in, pushing the music what we believe in, and we don't have to of course making money of it eventually becomes not the primary goal, but it always helps to go on with it. But the main goal is just to push it and to make sure that the best music gets out there in the best places.
So what advice would you give maybe to, I don't know, somebody who would be interested in working in that kind of field?
As an agent, you mean? Basically make sure that your network is big enough. You have to be, obviously you have to be social, you have to know how to network, and you also have to, still negotiation is always a part of it. So be prepared to enter negotiations. That's it. It's not always all fun and games. Of course it is, because it's about your own base, but there's always negotiations that have to be done.
You got to have the sales aspect in you, I guess. I could never do that. I'm a shitty salesperson. I'm very happy behind my computer, just like dealing with numbers or whatever, but I can't really negotiate with people.
Trust me, a lot of artists need that as well. Someone who can deal with numbers. So there might be something in there.
Maybe, just want to go to another Patreon question. This is more for Jeroen, but I'm actually not really sure. But are you originally from Estonia, or were you just living in Estonia at one stage? Because I know you moved.
Yeah, I was just living there for about 5 months.
Okay.
So I've always lived in the Netherlands before that. Grew up here, and I just wanted to try that out for once. Like try out living in a different country. I chose a country where I had only good experiences, and a country where I knew some people already who were, not the least artists over there. The boys from Cartoon, they are huge over there, so it was very easy for me to get introduced to all the songwriters. I met like the whole top people of musicians in Estonia. Like we went to the Estonian Music Awards, and I met a ton of people there as well, like new people. So yeah, it was really easy to get in touch with the people that I would want to get in touch with over there. And yeah, so it was the right decision to go there and try that out, because it was also really easy for me that way to because I was already kind of known there. Like we've played there a bunch of times. So once people got the word that I moved there, they started booking me really quickly.
Nice.
So I had loads of gigs already. So yeah, that made it really easy. Everyone was really supportive of what I was doing.
So were you DJing alone in Estonia?
Yeah.
How did that go?
It went really surprisingly well, actually. Surprisingly well. However, in Estonia, it's like not all events are purely drum and bass events, but people love drum and bass, and it's mainstream. It's a mainstream genre. Like you hear it on the radio all the time.
Oh shit! Okay.
But like there are events where people want to hear drum and bass, house, like stuff, like all kinds of EDM in one set,
in the same set.
And in the same set, yeah. So even if I would play, they would expect like me to go outside of that comfort zone of playing just drum and bass and playing all sorts of music. So I tried that out once.
How do you even do that? Like,
I don't know. I was playing back to back with Hugo from Cartoon, and it was fun. It was fun, definitely. But I don't know. It just didn't feel as right as I expected it to feel. I thought like it would be, it would be fun to do, but I didn't enjoy it as much as just playing like a full drum and bass set. I don't know why exactly. I still can't really explain why I felt like that. Maybe it's just a matter of like practicing it more and getting a better hang of it. But yeah, for now I'm sticking to just drum and bass.
Yeah, but I imagine even as a listener, as a raver, I wouldn't really enjoy a multi-genre set, because it's hard to like get in the groove or get into a mood if you're switching from 174 to a house tune to dubstep all the way up to techno. Or it's like what mood am I supposed to be in?
If it's done right, then obviously it can work pretty well.
It can definitely work. Like look at the guys like Diplo, they're doing it for sure, but it's really difficult to have the right vibe throughout the whole set, like you're saying.
Especially if drum and bass is the bass. If it's the bass line of the set, you always switch back to drum and bass. That makes it difficult. If drum and bass is one of the outliers in the set as well, I think that might make it a bit easier.
Yeah. If you're focused around like house, it might be easier to do like other styles that are quite similar, slightly faster, slightly slower. If you're all the way up to 174, it's like how do you move back?
You can switch tunes from time to time, but not too much, because obviously the main tempo is 174, and that's
yeah. That's interesting. But yeah, so I had a question from on Patreon from Telamik, who was asking how is the drum and bass scene in Estonia compared to the Netherlands?
It's pretty different, like, because it's mainstream over there, which is really weird. Like, it's something you really need to get used to. That drum, well, I had that. Like, I a couple times I stepped into a taxi and there was drum and bass playing, and one time it wasn't even on the radio. It was like I actually asked this guy, like, wait, are you listening to like a set from Fabric? I saw like Fabric on the radio screen, and I was like, what the fuck?
That's so
How?
weird.
And this guy was like 42 or something. And he was just like, I've been listening, I've been raving to drum and bass for like 10 years, listening to it for so long. And so he was really like a diehard drum and bass fan. And I just like randomly, he was my taxi driver. And this happened, like stuff like this happened all the time, like where I would hear drum and bass and I would be like, what, huh?
Yeah.
How do you know this stuff? Like everyone seemed to know drum and bass. So that, but then again, it's a really small country. It's like 1.2 million citizens, and yeah. So the Netherlands, the scene in the Netherlands is probably bigger, but relatively, it's way smaller.
Yeah.
Like, way smaller.
Yeah.
Because with drum and bass in Estonia, you can actually, you know, get like a huge hit and get like awards, like
Actual awards.
But like awards in a pop music,
like mainstream awards.
Yeah, mainstream awards, which is insane, I think.
Yeah.
And I think the Netherlands should really do some shit like that too, like host some awards for EDM or something like that, which doesn't just incorporate like the mainstream big genres, but also other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting country for sure. Like we could all learn a lot from that country, that little country right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been, but from what you're saying, it sounds like my kind of country. If you step into taxis and there's drum and bass,
and like generally, they're very forward-thinking people, like very good-minded people. I have met so few people. I don't even think I met one person that I really didn't like. It's interesting.
Wasn't it Estonia that did this like virtual like citizenship that you could become I'm maybe confusing with another
e-residency.
Yeah, e-residency. Yeah, I think they're like one of the only countries like you can become an e-resident of Estonia. Yeah, like, that seems like 2049 shit.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like all this kind of stuff that they do.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting country.
Yeah, sick. Gonna slowly wrap this up. Just want to close off with one last question from Patreon, and that's from Harry, who admits that he's not familiar with your music, even though he heard your name and saw it a lot. But he was asking what would be a key track that you guys would recommend for him to kind of like get into your music. Like, where should he start?
Oh, that's difficult. Because like I would almost automatically right now say Afterlife, because it's our biggest hit ever, and it's doing so well, and it's for a reason, I think. I mean, but then again, do you want to start at the beginning, or do you want to start all the way at the end somewhere? But I guess like if you want to hear what you can expect from us the most in the future, it's stuff like Afterlife, similar to that, and even like more dance floory, but you know, that's the kind of the energy that we're gonna continue to put into our music.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. It's been a pleasure meeting you guys, chatting with you. Really enjoyed it. Before we shut off, maybe let people know any upcoming projects that you have that you want to talk about, releases, any events that you guys are playing soon that people can check out.
We've got a collaboration with Zombie Cats coming out.
That's pretty soon, right? On the
this month, I think this month. Which is coming out on not Liquidity, but our first Galaxy release. Yeah.
So it's not only dance floor that's coming from us.
Yeah. I love
we
Galaxy.
got a little roller coming out. And it's a really nice track, so I'm excited for that release. And yeah, we've got a bunch of releases lined up after that, and a lot of stuff that we're still working on, but not gonna spill too much about that.
Yeah, right. When it comes to shows, I think the main thing, obviously we got quite some shows lined up the next couple of months, but the main thing is just the Liquidity Festival. We'll be there the whole weekend. And we'll be, if you want to have a chat, if you want to have a drink with us, we'll probably walk around the terrain the whole time, except when we do.
Always come say hi.
Yeah, always come say hi.
Yeah. No, I feel like it's going to be just one huge communion of people just enjoying themselves and having fun, and I feel like all the artists are just going to be like mingling with people because they're just going to want to feel that atmosphere. So
I've already had so many requests from artists that we booked that were like, yeah, okay, can I stay for another day, or can I stay for the whole weekend? I don't mind bringing my own tent. I just want to experience the festival the whole time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like that.
It's gonna be sick. Sick. All right, brilliant, guys. Gonna leave you to your evening. Best of luck with everything, and thanks again for your time.
You're welcome, and you too. Take care. We'll talk soon. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Peace.